Okay, this is off the cuff again. And I've just been talking to people, and I just find this very hard to believe that employers around here are telling their employees that they need to wear masks, and in some cases, they need to wear gloves. Okay? And then some businesses are even going so far as to tell their customers they need to wear masks in order to be served. Uh, and uh, and let me explain something to you about the body's defense system. It has a natural defense system. Okay, so when you inhale oxygen, and along with that oxygen in today's environment, you also inhale a whole bunch of other stuff. When you exhale, you are exhaling carbon dioxide along with the bacterias that that you breathe in that don't belong there. And then when you sneeze and you cough, uh, you are trying to get rid of a foreign element that your body doesn't like. It doesn't belong there. Okay? Now, when you put a mask over your nose and mouth, what you're doing is you're causing condensation to build up around the areas of your nose and mouth. And then when you exhale, all the bacteria that you're trying to get rid of goes into the condensation produced by breathing, by your exhalation. And then when you inhale, you're recycling all the bacteria that you just got rid of. Okay? So, if you happen to be sick, that's not going to facilitate healing. Okay? So, you don't need to be wearing a mask. In one particular store I walked into, the manager of the store forced all the employees to wear a mask, then behind a sneeze guard, and then the customer had to stand 6 feet or sit 6 feet from the sneeze guard and yell their business to the employee who was talking through a mask behind a sneeze guard. Okay, now, really, people, honestly, what are you thinking? Okay, now, first of all, a mask over your nose and your mouth. It prevents you from having a complete experience. We take in data by sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch. When we as healthy people are missing any one of those, okay, then we're not getting a full and complete experience of our environment around us that helps us to interpret what's going on. If you cover your nose and your mouth, you can't smell and you can't taste. These two are some very important functions that you need to have to interpret your environment. Okay, because you can smell if something in the air isn't right. And if it's a chemical, you can taste it. And furthermore, if you have exposed skin, you can feel it. Okay? So, all right, so covering your nose and your mouth does two things. It prevents you from healing if you are sick. And by recycling the bacteria that you're trying to exhale, which ends up going into the cloth and then recycling back into you. And then it takes away your sense of smell and your sense of taste, which doesn't allow you to interpret your environment. Another rather big word that's going around is, oh, you might be asymptomatic. Okay, let me tell you that from Biology 101 class, I learned that our intestine also studies from IP6. IP6 is basically adds an additional cell to your body to help your white blood cells fight disease. Okay, but from studying Biology 101 and studying IP6, our linings, our stomach linings, and our intestinal linings have all the deadly bacteria that has the potential of causing every single disease on the planet, past, present, and future. Every single one of them. We're walking around with potentially deadly diseases inherent in our bodies. Okay, so something that you need to know is, hey, people, we're already asymptomatic. Okay? Yet, we live out full lives with this bacteria, which lives harmless and inactivated in our bodies as long as we take care of ourselves throughout the duration of our lifespan. Now, these bacteria become activated and become deadly disease when we do things we're not supposed to do. And I'm not going to go over those, but you already know what those are. I've already explained it in previous videos. I'm a Christian, and I preach the gospel, and I also talk about some scriptures. And so you already know the things that you're not supposed to be doing. The things that you're not supposed to be doing are the things that cause this disease, that cause diseases. You know, like cancer, for instance, AIDS, STDs. And you know where those come from. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you here, people, is there is no need to be afraid of some disease. Okay? And then not only that, we are Americans. We don't wear masks. We don't wear gloves. We're not afraid to live our lives. We can't be. And in a capitalist society, we can't stay at home waiting for an unemployment check. We can't stay at home waiting for a welfare check. We can't afford that. A capitalist society, every available member of the society needs to be working from 18 to 65, 67, as long as they're capable of working. They need to be working. So you can't stay at home. Businesses, you can't force particularly those who have liberal business owners who are following the CDC guidance. Okay, healthy people, even Dr. Fauci said that healthy people do not need to be wearing masks. So stop forcing your employees to wear masks and gloves to come to work. Another thing that's very troubling is Walmart, Home Depot, and Lowe's have employees that have an Android temperature application, and they turn it on and they point it at you to take your temperature. Well, that is unconstitutional. If you go back and you read Amendments 3 through 5, it specifically states that anything on your person, including your temperature and anything about your health, is between you and your doctor. I didn't authorize anybody to take my temperature at the door of a business. And you didn't either. Now, Iran is using this particular application, and if they have a temperature of 100 degrees, they're killing people. Now, this is absolutely ridiculous. There are people going to work with the flu, and nobody says anything about it. And you get something similar to the common cold, if it isn't the common cold, and you're freaking out. What's wrong with you people? And then, I mean, I'm done with the mask. I've said everything else that I need to say in previous videos. But I am at awe at people who are wearing masks and gloves, and they're taking what is being fed to us by the CDC. Please wake up and realize that you are an American living in America. You are not a Chinese citizen living in China. You are not a South Korean citizen living in South Korea. You don't need a mask. You don't need gloves. You're not sick. But the CDC wants you to believe that you are, because it has a multi-million-dollar vaccine that it wants to produce and sell, which I strongly discourage you from taking. Anyway, this is off the cuff again. Thank you. Have a good one.